It's been confirmed that Jason Momoa has been cast as Lobo in an upcoming Supergirl movie coming out next year. So I wanted to take a look at my Lobo comic books. Now this is Omega Men, issues 1 through 3. This is from 1983 from DC Comics. These characters look very much like characters my friend Sean would have created. But these are drawn by artist Keith Giffen. Issues 1 and 2 are original. Issue 3 is the first appearance of Lobo, and this is a facsimile edition because I can't afford an original of this issue. And there we go. He shows up on page 15, halfway through the book, looking pretty strange. I haven't read these yet. I do love the art. But apparently back then, he was just written as the bad guy for the Omega Men, kind of a space biker, and he wasn't used very much, kind of just disappeared from comics. That was until 1990 when he was brought back in his own miniseries. This time Keith Giffen was doing the writing and Simon Bisley was doing the art, and it was these covers that jumped off the shelves at people and really made this character new and popular. You can see I got mine signed by Simon Bisley on the cover and Keith Giffen on the interior. This is a trade paperback collection of that original 4-issue miniseries. It was painted covers like this. Now, I didn't see these at the time. I got this after the fact. That's why I have this trade paperback collection. But they've rewritten his origin. Now he's really biker-like, just like artist Simon Bisley. And they've made him a bounty hunter as opposed to just a regular bad guy. Plus, they upped his power levels to pretty much infinite. And it was written as a parody, kind of making fun of Wolverine comics of the day, Punisher comics of the day, where everything was really ramped up, extreme over-violence and infinite healing factors and, you know, these unstoppable one-man killing machines. It's really the art that sold this as well. Well, you know, the art gets you to pick the book up, and when the story is good, it gets you coming back again and again. And it worked. And that's where I come into the picture. This is the comic I saw on the rack. It was actually on the wall of a comic shop that Sean and I went to, and I said, oh my gosh, I don't think I had seen a painted cover before, but I saw this, and I said, I don't know what this is. I don't buy DC Comics, but I need this. I don't know who Lobo is or why he's back, but this is now mine. And you can see I got it signed by Simon Bisley and Keith Giffen to me. It's a very special comic. Look, all these different covers. Interesting. I don't know why I don't remember that. Okay, so we get in. You know, when this came out and I was reading it, I was just so into this comic. It really changed everything I was doing at the time as far as artwork and comics. I started drawing my own comic of myself and my coworker Uchi, and we would battle with this over-the-top super gore violence where we're pretty much, you know, unkillable, indestructible. So we can, you know, tear the flesh off each other and rip each other's heads off, and we're perfectly fine. And I was just, you know, trying to draw like this. It's just so cool. See what I'm talking about? Look at this. He's shooting so much. He's getting buried in his shell casings. Look at that. Shot so much his torso falls off. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This was so, I mean, it's ridiculously over the top. It's still funny. Here's issue 2. See, in here they change him into a girl. I seem to remember somewhere in the story. Oh, you know what? I think he died in the first issue, and now he goes up to heaven, and I think he gets reborn as a girl. Look, he's killing everyone in heaven. This is the thing. See, this is why he's immortal. It's because they don't want him in heaven. When he goes to hell, they don't want him there. He kills everybody there. So they kind of kick him out of everywhere, and he's eternally alive. It's so cartoony. See, they brought him back to life as a woman. Isn't it interesting how his interior art is so different than his cover art? He's really going all out with the painting for the cover, and then inside, he makes it a more manageable illustration style so that he can actually get all of the artwork done in a timely fashion. Heads on a pike. And then issue 3 came out, and it was a different artist. but I said, oh, I don't know who this is. It says Keith. Is that Keith Giffen? Because Keith Giffen is an artist, and I was just trying to figure things out. No, it's Sam Keith. This was my introduction to Sam Keith. And I was like, if you're going to replace Simon Bisley with somebody, wow, boy, did you pick the right guy. I don't know who this is, but he's my new favorite. And he was. He became my new favorite. But it was just the cover. See, Simon Bisley's still doing the interior art. And this is why I was just so confused, because you got cover art, the interior art, and the writer who's also an artist who has the name on the cover. See, Keith and Keith, but they're all different people. And in 1991, you just couldn't figure these things out unless it was spelled out for you, which it eventually was over time. I eventually pieced it all together. And I've met Keith Giffen and I've met Simon Bisley. I hope one day I can meet Sam Keith. All the missiles and guns pointed at him. And then the final issue is some other artist, and I didn't like it, and apparently he knew to not even sign it because people were going to be angry when they saw this cover and it wasn't Simon Bisley or Sam Keith. Now it says the art is Le Christian Alamy. I don't know who that is, but it looks exactly like Simon Bisley's interior art. Doesn't it? You know what? I guess it's this guy or girl. What was the name? Le Christian Alamy. Guy, French guy maybe? He's trying to emulate the style by doing the splotchy airbrush stuff. That's what it is. It's a different artist. He's just trying to emulate the style. Put in all the veins, the big forearms, kicking a head off. See, if it wasn't so over the top, it would be gross. But because it's just so ridiculous, it makes it funny. Well, he did a decent enough job trying to emulate the art style, and it's still the same writer finishing up the story, so that's good. Look at this. You get all of the religions on display coming to battle him. He's going to take them all on. And then we go right back to where he was killed, and that's it. They make him back alive. He is now unkillable. They don't want him in the afterlife. Nobody wants him in the afterlife. He's too much trouble. Send him back to the real world. And there you go. He kills his killer, and now he's going to put his body back together. And there it is. This Derek dude has signed this to say Lobo is no longer allowed to be collected. He is now classified as untouchable. He is immortal, meaning he cannot be collected by any of the afterlife realms. And then he came back in this miniseries, Lobo Infanticide, and now it's drawn by Keith Giffen and written by Keith Giffen. And check out this art style. I would hate to be the colorist trying to figure out what everything is. This is a comic I couldn't read in black and white, but wow, what a style. Of course, you look at it now, well, I look at it now, and I can see the influences of Mobius, Jean Giraud, the French artist. You can see where this would have come from. He would have been influenced by the heavy metal magazines from the 70s, and that artwork making its way across the pond, as they say. And we've got issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4. Then there was the paramilitary Christmas special where he takes on Santa. Back to Simon Bisley drawing. This is still 1991. So he was super popular right off the bat. Got all of these comics out in that first year or two. Look at that. Taking out the elves. And then in 1993, there was this miniseries, A Contract on God. Different artist. This time it's Kieran Dwiefrag and inker Klaus Janfrag. Oh, I get it. Everybody has frag in their name because that's the made-up cuss word Lobo uses. So Klaus Janfrag, that's Klaus Janson is the inker. Kieran Dwyer. Issue 2, issue 3, yeah, Dwyer, and issue 4. Then the Lobo Convention Special, art by Kevin O'Neill, still written by Keith Giffen. This is his baby. Just want to show this here. There's his space motorcycle. Look, he's going down a convention center. It looks like San Diego Comic-Con, I'm sure. But this is 1993, right? So this is when it was still, just comics. It wasn't a big multimedia extravaganza. And then we've got Lobo, Highway to Hell. The artist is Sam Keith again. Great, he's back. But look who's writing it. Scott Ian from Anthrax. And these are thicker. It's all Sam Keith art. It's like pen and ink with watercolor paints. This is really cool. Story by Scott Ian. Well, let's be real. It's not Sam Keith's best art. Looks like he did a rush job, which is kind of disappointing. It's like a real rush job. It's almost like Sam Keith had a stroke. Well, what a downer. Okay, Un-American Gladiators. It's another mini-series. I think it's only 3 issues, maybe more. I don't know. All I have is issue 2. I'm going to have to get the others. Because this is Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame. Recognize the style? I mean, how cool is that? Gotta do that. Gotta get that. Gotta get the rest. Well, it was just on the cover. The inside, the artist is Cam Kennedy. But it's still good. I like it. It's cool art. Who wrote it? Alan Grant and John Wagner are the scripters, so it's not Keith Giffen anymore. All right, the Lobo cancellation special. Don't know anything about this one. Look at that. It'll be worth checking out, though. Anyways, now here's the latest. Superman crossover storyline, The House of Brainiac, that went through all the Superman comics, and I got all the parts. This is Action Comics issue 1064. This is House of Brainiac part 1. Part 2 is in Superman issue 13. And look, there's Supergirl fighting a bunch of people that look like Lobo. Maybe they're inhabitants of his planet. Part 2.5 is this Superman House of Brainiac special. That's why it's got an issue 1 there. There's Lobo again. Part 3 is back to Action Comics. This is now issue 1065. You've got all the different Brainiacs surrounding, I guess that's Superman and Supergirl. And the final part, part 4, is in Superman issue 14. So it just bounces back and forth between Action Comics and the Superman comic, which have both been going since the 1930s. And you can see here the final face-off, the main match, Superman versus Lobo. Pretty cool, huh? See what happens inside. Oh, look, so there's a whole bunch of them. Ooh, this is pretty neat. Wow, well, this looks really good. And all the Brainiacs. Yeah, I can't wait to read this. Well, I guess I can wait. I've waited. I bought them all last year, haven't read it yet. What's wrong with me? And now I bring you to the final comic. This is a little bit older. This is a Superman Man of Steel issue 30 in this bag. You can see here he's battling Lobo, but it's on the bag. Pick your own fight. First ever do-it-yourself cover. Lobo strikes again. Okay, I'm going to open this. It is the collector's edition Man of Steel number 30, 32-page comic featuring Lobo versus Superman. A sheet of removable vinyl clings. Sheet of vinyl clings. Okay, let's just glance through the inside real quick. Okay, so it's got Lobo, it's got Superman, and they're battling. Okay, so I get the gist of it. Now let's play with the cover. Okay. Well, they're old, they're not sticking real well. We'll do a few more. Pow! Oh, it's back when Superman had a mullet. Surprisingly, the mullet is making a comeback. Look, he's a giant. Oh, that's kind of cool. Where can I put that? I don't know. We'll put it... No, it doesn't really go anywhere. Zap. Well, you get the point. That's pretty fun, right? They're not sticking too well, but cool idea. They should do more of this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Jason Momoa against Supergirl. So see you at the theaters next year. Bye.